Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am going to talk about Secret Project 3 by Brandon Sanderson, which is the newest Brandon Sanderson release in his secret projects. And I read this now a few days ago, so we shall see if I can remember enough to talk about it here. I'm gonna keep it spoiler free. I feel like the spoilery stuff that happened I don't need to talk about. I just want to share a few quick thoughts because that's why I have a YouTube channel about books. Yay! So if you don't want to know anything about the secret project, like you don't even want to know the title or like the tiny synopsis I will ever give you, then you should leave because I'm gonna say the title now, okay? But the title for Secret Project 3 is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. And I think it's a beautiful title. I think that this cover is one of the most stunning covers ever. If this is this the cover it will be on like the letterbound or like the tour covers? I think it is the letterbound one. Don't ask me, I don't know anything. I think it's stunning. It had stunning illustrations. They had another illustrator that I hadn't collaborated with before, called Alia Chan, and they were stunning, like wow. And I read it on my Kindle, so all illustrations were like black and white and tiny, and I was like gasping because they were stunning. I cannot stop using that same word apparently. I'm just very excited to see them like full picture when my edition comes in. But yeah, other than that, it follows Yumi, who's from like this very, I was gonna say, meditation-like world. She has this certain job that has to do with ghosts, and it's very like at peace, and it's very like peaceful. That's a great description. And then we have Painter, who is from a world of nightmares, technology, and darkness. Paths of these two characters connect. I'm not gonna say how, but they connect, and they need to work together to save their communities for different reasons. Brandon Sanderson himself wrote in the acknowledgements that this is a bit inspired by Your Name. Definitely could see that. Love Your Name. And also Final Fantasy, which I never played, but I know of it. And that his wife, Emily, wanted him to kind of write a romance. And that's where I was like, oh. But this obviously wasn't until the end of the book that he wrote this in the acknowledgements. And I already read the whole book. And at that point, I was just feeling a bit like... I'm gonna sound mean, but for me, I don't think Brandon Sanderson is a good person to write romance. I don't think his relationships in all his other works, I never actually cared about anyone being together in all of the works I read by him. The only ones I ever cared about are Ellen and Vin as a couple. But that's because I love Ellen and Vin dearly, and I did believe that they loved each other. In all of his other books, he has many different relationships, and I never, in any of them, felt any chemistry or any reason for them to be together. They're kind of just together, and I'm just like, oh. So, what I experience and what I feel is that I don't think Brandon Sanderson is a good romance writer. I don't know, like, exactly the words for why. It is more like his couples don't have like the nice romance chemistry I enjoy in romances, because I read romances as well, and I read fantasy books that has romance in it that I enjoyed, and like I believe that they care for each other. And I'm not saying it's like terrible and the worst thing ever. I just don't think that his characters has as a good chemistry, anticipation that you want in a romance. And you know, you're gonna tell me, well, Brandon Sanderson is not a romance writer, he's a fantasy writer. Not that you can't be both, but what I read Brandon Sanderson for, and what a lot of other people read Brandon Sanderson for, is for his world building and his like kind of really well thought through plot twists, and like how he builds the world, and like the plot for like things to be revealed later in ways you didn't realize. That's what I read Brandon Sanderson for. I don't read him to read about a romance, and I never have. It's okay, of course, if you like the way he writes it, etc. I love Brandon Sanderson, you know, he's my favorite author, but my weakest point and my main complaint about his books that, like, when I talk to my friends, is that I don't care for his couples. So a whole book with this, where this is the main focus, this is the main drive point for the whole book, I just found myself that I didn't care, which is very sad. I didn't think that these people, why they liked each other, I have no idea. And I just didn't, like, care for them. And I like them as individual characters. Why they want to be together, have no clue. But because this is the drive point of the story, I just was kind of bored, which is very sad to say, because again, it looks stunning. The setup is really cool, and we have some interesting nitbits of what I love about Brandon in it. But like when we came to the conclusion of why all of this is happening and what is going on, it did like see a glimpse of like what I really enjoy in his books. But at that point, I was just like, is this over now? And I just found myself not even like caring for the plot twists. I was just like, okay, well, we don't know, bye. And I liked it. I'm not saying I hated the book. I liked the setup, I liked the characters, etc. But it just like took a really long time for like, I was gonna say, the wheels to spin. I was disappointed, I will be honest. I was a bit disappointed, but I think also my anticipation is really high because, you know, it's Brandon Sanderson, it's one of my favorites. And I assumed that I would love all his secret projects just because it's Brandon Sanderson. So like, it's unfair to the dude. I'm putting him really high on like what I feel towards him. I just need to know, you know, go with my gut feeling of how I felt when I was reading the book. And I was really hyped in the beginning of it, and then that really ebbed off. I ended up giving it 3 stars, which is, you know, it's not terrible, it is fine. But I also gave Secret Project 2 3 stars, and I feel like I like that a lot less. So far this is like my second favorite Secret Project. But I love Tress. Tress is so far my favorite. I give it 5 stars. It was a really like story that matched with what I like. Even though that was quite different, you know, for what he usually writes. And this story is motivated by love. It's not focused on a relationship. So I feel like Secret Projects are definitely, and the feeling I get, is ways for Brandon Sanderson to explore stories he's had in his head for a long time that maybe he was going to publish traditionally one day. They are being that. But I just mean that it was definitely like think box. He sat down and wrote these and got to explore like other stories that he probably had in his mind for a long time. And you can definitely tell like that they're not his usual like stuff in the Cosmere or like stuff he would publish at this time. And I like that. I like that they're different. And I like the idea behind them. But that doesn't mean that I feel like I like every story. I guess now I'm a bit disappointed, but so far only Project 1 has been like the one I loved as I thought I would feel with the others. But we shall see for Project 4. Bottom line is that I like the world. I like the characters. I thought what happening was cool in the end. Like, when it came together, as I said, etc. But again, it is a love story. Like, not gonna deny that. And I was just like, didn't care. It might be my own fault, but that's just how I feel. So I feel totally okay for it, and I'm excited to get my edition. My very short thoughts for this book, and mainly like what I felt. Not terrible, but not amazing either. I think maybe if I reread it, maybe I would enjoy it more, because then I know what I'm getting into more. That's what I have. I don't have anything more. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this very short little review. I hope you have enjoyed. And you should see me soon in a new video. Leave a paintbrush down below if you enjoyed this. And you should see me soon. Goodbye!